market, because the worst thing you want is to have your consumer, because the consumer is the most important at the end of the day, going from chain to chain, seeing the exact same story. Exact same product, that is.
Yeah. I guess if we go back to just the market growth as a whole, I mean, according to a few sources, we're seeing that, say, footwear and apparel, both the whole market as a whole is growing around 6 to 8% midterm, year on year. Obviously, I would concede I have analyzed Under Armour a lot more than Nike, but just looking at Under Armour guidance, they're saying, at least in North America, they're forecasting weakness in 18 and possibly into 19. So I'm kind of keen to get your sense of who are the guys kind of winning market share. If the market is going to 6 to 8%, and you've got a pretty big player losing, reporting declining growth, then someone else must be winning that, right? Do you think is Nike winning, or is Adidas, or is it other players that we're missing here?
Okay, and that 6 to 8% is a global number, correct?
Yeah, but although even in North America, I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me, but I would imagine it will be a pretty robust mid-single-digit number. Footwear, obviously, higher than apparel, yeah.
Right, and I think the majority of that growth, a lot of that growth is coming from your European and your Asian markets, I believe. So in looking at that, I don't have the details on it, but I think a lot of growth is coming there. But to answer your question, as far as who's winning, overall in volume, I'll say Nike is winning, but I think who's gaining more market share, chipping at it, when you look at it on a quarterly basis, Adidas has come on strong, and they have not held back, even when you start looking at their stock prices as well. So even though Nike is winning in terms of volume, Adidas, because of the product that they're putting out there, both in footwear and apparel, has been chipping at market share, and they've been doing extremely well as speed to market. I can't speak to UA's speed to market, but I know within Nike and I know within Adidas, they're starting to have faster turnarounds, especially with Adidas. I think they even have some factories within the U.S. that may produce smaller volumes, but it does get to the consumers a little bit faster. Nike, and now with their flex partnerships that they've engaged with, they're doing the same thing. I don't hear that on the streets just yet with UA, but I'm not saying it's not happening where they're getting product out there a lot faster to the consumer. But to answer your question, I will put Nike and Adidas first, and then I will say Under Armour is third.
Is there any way in the U.S. to properly track the sales data? Is there when you were at Nike and you try to get a sense for how well Under Armour is selling in certain product categories and how well Adidas is resonating with consumers, how did you track that?
That's a really good question. That was a challenge in and of itself. There are various ways that we track data. We would look at some of our largest retailers, and some of them we would know how we were performing against various products within Adidas and with Under Armour. So we look at our largest retailers to kind of tell us, and then also just being out on the road, out in the street and out in the field, that also helped out quite a bit. So looking at what we could get based off of just through conversations and ideas from there would be from word of mouth through other retailers. Another way is looking at NPD data and going through and tracking that way and looking at the analytics behind that, and that would be like a key determinant as far as how we would make shifts in movements. So it was some challenges there because not all data is obviously going to be available to you. But between speaking with the retailers, reviewing quarterly reports or monthly reports, and then looking at NPD data, and then basically being out on the street and in the field, that helped us out quite a bit. It was a little bit of a tough, but NPD data was big, and we would try our best to track on a weekly basis, especially when all retailers were doing a key launch. So when you look at it, the season right now, it's running season. It's starting to become running season, right? So you're seeing a lot of running shoes that are launched. But there's also a lot going on with basketball. So we're looking at who's doing what